Today on the Implicit Show, we're talking all about emotions. Emotions run
Tapping into the true potential of the human spirit. This is humanity empowered. This is the Implicit Show.
Boom. So as you guys heard from that crazy intro, today we're talking all about emotions. My name is Bren Dubé. I'm your host today. I hope you guys are feeling amazing because I know I am. It's Tuesday. You know, the week's rolling a little bit. I hope you guys are doing good. And it's Q&A Tuesday. So every single Tuesday, we kind of do this thing where I'm here and I just answer your questions. You know, I don't have all the answers to all the questions in the world. I'm not that smart. In fact, I'm just a guy trying to figure it all out myself. And so that's why I get on here to share it with you guys, not so I could be like this expert, but, you know, just so, hey, maybe we could start a conversation. I could learn from you. You could learn from me. Win-win. And so today I really wanted to talk about emotions. I think it's a big topic that a lot of us, we don't want to talk about sometimes. And also it's something that's super important because we all feel emotion, right? It's something that is universal to all of us as human beings. And, you know, no matter how much you try to suppress your emotions, no matter how, you know, manly you think you are, or how badass you think you are, whatever it is, we all have emotions. You know, we all have feelings. We all feel the good. We all feel the bad. So, you know, whether you're at the point in your life where everything's just working, like you just feel joyful, all your emotions are just happening. You feel like maybe you're loving, all the, you know, passionate, purposeful, excited, curious, wondrous, all those amazing emotions. Or maybe you're on the other side. You're feeling a little bit more fearful, anxious, depressed, even stressed out, overwhelmed. You even on the side like envious. Maybe you're feeling jealous. Maybe you're feeling embarrassed or humiliated, right? These are all kind of emotions on two different sides of the spectrum. I don't know where you're at right now, but whatever it is, wherever you're at, I'm going to answer your questions on it today. And I'm super excited. So let me just pull up this thing here. Boom, boom. What up? Okay. So we got Rachel Johnson's in here. Good to see you, Rachel Johnson. And we got Shelby Ann Tilker. Awesome. And we got Carly Ty. Cool. So I'm excited about this one. So like I said, guys, today's all about emotion. So if you guys have any kind of questions about this, I'd love to hear it. So actually I got a message from Shelby. I'm sure this isn't a secret, Shelby, because you posted this to Facebook. I got a message from Shelby earlier and she said, you know, Bren, I need you to give me a high five to the face. I need some motivation so that I could get this paper done, so I could get rolling. And basically what she's telling me, she just doesn't feel like it, right? I got this paper. It's important to me. I know it needs to be done. It's you know, I've got all these reasons that it needs to be done, but I just don't feel like it. I just don't have the motivation. And so a lot of what this episode is going to be about is how to get yourself from feeling like you don't want to do it to just actually doing it. Because look, no matter what it is you want in life, it all comes down to action, right? It all you can't think your way into situations. You can't feel your way into situations. You can't feel your way into the perfect body, right? You can't think your way into the perfect body, the perfect relationship. You really got to work for it. You really have to take action. And so my whole study, everything that I think about, all this stuff that I teach and I share, it's all about basically how do we get ourselves to take action, right? Because it's easy to say that. All we got to do is you got to put in the work. You got to take action. You got to do this. You got to do that. You just got to do it, right? Just do it. It's easy to say that, but how often, you guys know what it's like when you just don't feel like it, like physically, maybe you're stiff, maybe you're just like, your just body's just, maybe you're comfortable. You just don't want to move. Maybe it's something up here. Maybe your thoughts are like, okay, well, you know, maybe it's not that important anyways. Maybe I could do it tomorrow. Maybe I don't worry about it. Maybe it's something that I shouldn't even think about altogether. Right. And on the other hand, it's by the end of this episode, I want you guys to know three things that I've used, three things that I've learned in psychology and in studying and in everything that I do that completely change how you feel. It basically creates how you feel. And so let me put it this way. Every single emotion you have, it's based on a pattern that you create within yourself. And that, for me, when I was first learning that, it was a little tough to, you know what, Shelby, if this is going to put you to sleep, then maybe you should just go back to being unmotivated and hating your life. If that's how you feel, right? Because a lot of times we like, oh, this is boring. I don't want to learn about this. I don't want to talk about this, or, oh, this isn't interesting to me. Nothing's interesting to you sometimes. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like this, where it's just like, it could be the most exciting action-packed movie, you know, explosions going off on the screen and everything. I'm just still just like bored, just like, oh no, boring, right? And Shelby's saying it's the topic, the paper topic that puts her to sleep. Same thing, like anything that puts you to sleep. If it's something like sometimes we have to practice fundamentals, right? Sometimes we have to practice what it is that don't feel good. It's not sexy, it's not exciting, but it's the work that's going to get us to where we want to go. And here's the 3 things that I really think about and that really help me get out of whatever kind of emotion or feeling that I'm in and put me into a good emotion, a good state that I can get stuff done. And it's this simple. It's as simple as 1, your physiology, 2, your psychology, and 3, how you communicate. Right? And this is stuff that I learned from Tony Robbins, learned from a bunch of other psychology books, Think and Grow Rich, internet videos, podcasts, my own personal experience in dealing with people. These are things I've learned. But before we get into any of that, you need to know the first thing, and that no emotion comes at you. Like if I tell you I hate you, let's use Shelby as an example. Shelby, if I told you I hate you right now, I think you're stupid, right? What would you think, right? Would that hurt you? Well, let's think of it this way. Did my words come out of my mouth and like travel through the webcam, through the computer, through the microphone and hit you and then all of a sudden create this feeling inside within you? Or did you hear that and then something within you happened? And so that's how emotions work, guys. It's an inside job. It comes from inside. And so if that's true, right, we can't always control what's happening outside of us. Who says this, who says what, who does this, who does that, but we can control our inside world, how we feel about it, what it means to us. And that's what this whole thing is about, guys. If you really want to control your life, if you really want to be happy at any point in time, you need to create that happiness. You can't, happiness doesn't just come and smack you in the face. Beauty doesn't just show up out of nowhere and get all up in your thing. No, you need to create these kind of emotions. And you need to consciously think about it. And these are the 3 tools I was talking about. Like I said, physiology. Let's talk first about physiology. This is simple, guys. Physiology is probably the easiest one that I think about because it's the first thing, right? Tony Robbins says emotion is created by emotion. So what that means is how you move your body is how you're going to feel. So if I were to ask you, right, how does if I had a depressed person sitting over here, right, and I asked you, could you describe that depressed person? How would you describe them? Physically, what are they doing with their body, right? Where are they looking? Okay, how are their shoulders? Right? What's their facial expression like? Are they looking down or are they looking up? Right? Are they slouching or are they standing tall? Are they talking fast and passionate and loud? Or are they kind of slow? I just don't know, man. How's their breathing? Is it just little breaths or is it big breaths, right? It makes a difference. It makes a difference how you use your body. And so you could describe a depressed person oftentimes, you could tell what they look like. You could tell somebody, say you walk into a room with your entire family, right? And you could just see maybe you have a brother or sister. So you could see in your brother or sister, wow, there's something about their energy right now that just doesn't look right. It just doesn't feel right, because they're feeling a certain way because of the way they're moving their body. You could tell by their body language what's going on with them. And you could tell this all the time, right? Just based on someone's facial expression, you could kind of get an idea of what they're feeling, what they're thinking. And that's an indicator that what we're doing with this is going to make a difference on how we feel. And so oftentimes we think, emotion comes first and then my body and then my thoughts and then this and then that. But it's actually the other way around. The way you use your body is going to determine how you use your emotions. So a great way I like to think about it is if I'm ever catching myself where I'm getting bored, I'm getting tired, or I'm unmotivated, or I'm just not feeling like it, or it's just this is stupid, I don't want nothing to do with this, I make an explosion, man. Get prepared. Get prepared to get freaked out. Or you just do a weird kind of get weird. You literally have to break the pattern that you have within your body. And so you can do something weird like me. You can just slap yourself in the face. Now Shelby was telling me earlier, she's like, I need a high five slap in the face, which would probably actually change the way she feels. If I were to come up to her and be like, you just slap her in the face, be like, Shelby, get it together. Shelby, you got your project, you got your school, you got your career, you got your kid, you got your life ahead of you. You got so many things that you got going for you. You got to make this happen. You got to go or get slapped in the face, right? That would change how she feels. So Carly has a question here. She says, what if you feel like you can never do anything right? So that's a feeling of feeling hopelessness, right? And so that really sounds like a lack of confidence. And so confidence, it's not so much an emotion as it is something you earn, a trait. Confidence, I feel, comes from the small little wins that you do every single day, right? If you think about success, we all talk about success, we all talk about failure, right? it's not this big giant thing that happens once in a while off one occasion. What really success is, or what failure is small things done consistently over time. Like small things, like choosing, like let's use the easiest example, food, okay? Choosing whether or not you're going to eat what's good or whether you're going to eat what's, tasty, or what's healthy or what's, calorie driven or whatever it is, right? It's making that decision, that small choice, whether or not you're going to take the stairs or you're going to take an elevator, right? Overnight, it's not going to change your life. But if you were to do that every day for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, that builds confidence, and it also changes the way you live. So if you feel like you can't do anything right, maybe you need to, I'd ask you to get more clear. I'd love to get more clear with you on exactly what you're talking about. I can't exactly answer your question. And again, like I said at the beginning of the episode, I don't have all the answers to everything, but I would say, in my personal experience, whenever I felt like I couldn't do anything right, I would do something easy. I would basically take a step back and be like, okay, maybe I'm being too hard on myself, which I do a lot, by the way. And so I'd say, okay, well, where am I actually succeeding? And I'd start to say, okay, well, I might not have gotten that thing right or done that thing, but I did, try my hardest. I did put in a lot of effort. I really thought I was doing the right thing. Or maybe I'd look at a different area of my life. You know what? I'm succeeding here. So I feel good about that. And so you just got to build confidence and ask yourself, maybe I didn't do it right, but what can I do next time? Just a small thing. Like, I think oftentimes, I know for myself personally, I want to take the world on overnight. I want to do everything. I want to change everything like that, right? But it's not how it happens. Like I said, it's usually small, consistent behaviors done well over time. And so back to that food analogy, and we're talking about how to change how you feel and take action. And oftentimes, if you feel like you can't get anything right, that lowers your confidence, and it lowers your confidence, and you're not going to be as willing to go out and do more things. And that's why you're not going to be as willing to take action. And so physiology, back to that, not only is it the way you feel and the way you use your body, like the way you guys see me with my arms all the time, I'm always making these weird gestures, got my hands all over the place. That's just how I move. This is how I feel. This is what gets me passionate. This is what gets me in the zone. It's just like, gotta move, man. Sometimes I dance. Sometimes I'm weird. You don't have to be like me. But that's one thing. But another thing that I've seriously noticed, and it's insane how much it actually changes how you feel, is your health. 1 second while I drink this water. Take that in for a second. Your health. You guys hear how much water I just chugged right there? That's how important health is to me, guys, because I've realized water, oxygen, and food, like those are the three things that matter most to me. Here Robin Hamilton says, I move my arms like that because I'm French. It's kind of true. But anyways, health matters so much to how you feel. We often overlook what we eat, and we often overlook how the water we drink or the beverages we drink, and we often overlook how much we exercise or breathe. And these things seriously change the way you feel. Science is coming out every single day saying if you don't exercise on a consistent basis, you're prone to depression, you're prone to anxiety, you're prone to stress, you're prone to overwhelm, you're prone to frustration and anger, all these things, because your body's not eliminating stress. Your body's not eliminating anxiety. It's not eliminating all these things that you have. And the only way to get rid of that is to release energy. And so you got to release energy into exercise, into movement, right? Another thing, right? The foods you eat, guys, it's so crazy how much it affects how you feel. I'm telling you, the analogy that changed my life was this, okay? The planet is 70% water, approximately, right? Our bodies are 70% water, approximately, right? What about our diets? Right? How much water percentage is in your diet? That changed my entire thinking. I was like, man, but I love burgers, and I love cereal, and I love bread and sandwiches and this and that and pizza and did I say pizza? Macaroni and cheese and this and that, right? But the problem with all those foods is there's very little water content. Where does all your water content come from? It comes from vegetables, fruits, and sprouts. That's it. Vegetables, fruits, and sprouts. That's where all the water content comes from. So I'm not saying you need to eliminate all dry foods from your diet, but I'm saying, is your diet mainly 70% water content foods? Otherwise, you think of it like, I don't know, you guys are probably from Canada. So we got a comment here that says, too much water kills, bro. Don't forget it. that's true, right? Everything in moderation. I'm not saying drown yourself in water, but 70% water content foods, right? If you guys were to go to 100% water content, I don't know what that'd do to you, but I know that anything below 50% is also really bad for you. And you're prone to cancer, prone to disease, all these things that could happen and could grow because what happens, I don't know, like I was going to say, Canada, if you live in Canada, you know what the streets get like here in the winter, right? It's like, it gets all sludgy, right? Because the snow comes down. It's not quite snow. It's not quite ice. It's not quite water, but it's like this weird sludge, right? And imagine that's what your body's going through when you don't drink enough water, when you eat too much dry foods and you don't have enough water content foods within you. It's like sludge. And you feel like sludge. I know I feel like sludge. I'm like, oh man, like I just don't want to get up. I don't want to move. I don't want to do anything. I feel all sludgy and groggy and just stiff and right? So physiology, it matters so much what you feed your body. And next, that leads me to step 2 is your psychology. What are you feeding your mind, right? And so not only what are you feeding your mind, but what are you focusing on in your mind? So oftentimes, like I said, this is how emotion works, right? It happens in our body. Or something happens, right? But it filters through our thoughts first, right? It filters through our thoughts. And then after that, we create a perception of what it means and that we focus on a certain area of it. Let me give an example, okay? 2 people can go through the same situation. Maybe 2 people get into a car accident and they lose their arm, right? Both people, same situation, car accident, both of them lost an arm. One person could say, oh my gosh, like I lost my arm. I don't know what to do with myself now. And, I'm a wreck, and so that person says, okay, I'm going to go and drink a lot. Maybe I'm going to get into drugs. I don't even really want to be here. My whole life is over. I can't even do so many things because I lost my arm and my whole life is over. Why do I even try? Why even go on? Or the other person could be in that same situation and instead they say, wow, I'm so grateful that I have the rest of my body. Like I could have died. I could have lost 2 arms, but I only lost 1 arm, right? Oh my gosh, I could still play sports with 1 arm. Oh my gosh, I could still do dishes. I can still, do dishes. Like anybody wants to do dishes. I can still cook food. I can still have a good time. I can still play sports, whatever it is that you could do with that 1 arm. And that person's grateful and they're glad and they dedicate their lives to others because they feel like they've been given a second chance. And so what you focus on is, oh man, it's so important, guys, because it's not all in your body, right? Sometimes you're stuck in your head. You guys, I'm sure you know what this is like, because I know I'm stuck in my head all the time where I'm overthinking things. I'm thinking things over and over again. It's not enough that I thought about it once or thought about it twice, but I got to think about it all day and the next day and for the next week. And as a result, you get kind of caught ruminating in your head and you're like, I don't know what to do with myself, right? That's not going to get you anywhere. You really need to dedicate your focus in a certain area. And so we've talked about this. I want you, if you feel like you struggle with focus, you struggle with mindset or psychology or anything like that, we have a ton of episodes on this. I don't want to go too deep into it because we have a ton of episodes on how to master psychology. I have a book written on how to master psychology called Mindset Mastery. And so that's something that we could dive into another time, but I want to move on. I want to make sure I get everything in here for you guys. So Shanova has a question. Until recently, the only water my body was getting was from Coca-Cola. I felt like crap, but I thought it was normal. After a few weeks diet, I can't believe how different I feel. You know what? I could totally relate to your situation. I think when I was like 16, all I drank was like Coca-Cola, ginger ale, just all those soda pop beverages, right? And same thing, I felt like crap, but I just thought this is how you're supposed to feel, right? You're supposed to feel like crap. This is just the way it is. I feel like crap all the time. You kind of get caught in this pattern, you get used to it. And that's what happens emotionally with so many people. They don't even realize they're depressed. They don't even realize they're upset. They don't even realize they're just numb. They're numb from life. They're not feeling the joys up here and they're not feeling the lows down here because they're kind of just like numb. And so when I switched completely to water, man, it was like I had a newfound energy that I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know it was possible to feel this good. And then when I stopped eating junk food completely, I stopped eating animal products completely, I stopped eating gluten mostly, all these things, just small changes, right, in my diet. I still eat well. I still love the food I eat. I'm not making any sacrifices here. I eat really good and I feel amazing all the time. I mean, not all the time, but like most of the time. And I have to share it because if it could help me like that, then maybe it could help you. I don't know what your diet's like. I don't know what you feed your body, but it's not just your body. I want to talk about what you feed your mind. before I really got into any of this personal development material, before I started learning all about human potential, human psychology, how to get the most out of our emotions, how to get the most out of our lives, how to get ourselves to take action, get what we want, live the best life we possibly can, realize our dreams, whatever you want to call it, right? Once I started learning these kind of things, it was a complete 180 for me, because beforehand, all I really watched was like cartoons, like Family Guy and Simpsons and South Park, and I watched like Trailer Park Boys. Man, I watched so much Trailer Park Boys in my lifetime. What else was I watched like a ton of Netflix and movies, and I played like a lot of violent video games, Call of Duty shooter games, right? Like killing people, just fucking shit up, like just tearing down the world. Like it was a lot of like violence, and I was feeding my mind with all this conflict and negativity, and like, because a lot of the comedies I was watching was a lot of like, oh, screw you, oh no, screw you, ha ha ha, super funny, right? It was like, and I started to really develop a lot of that same mentality myself. I'll give you an example. I was watching a show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I loved this show. I watched it a ton. It was amazing. It was freaking hilarious. It was basically like a bunch of friends. They own a bar, and they go show up at the bar every day, and they like prank each other, and they make fun of each other, and they pick on each other, and it's like a show, and it's hilarious. It's a great comedy. But what I started to notice in my own life is I started to treat the people around me just like the people in that show were treating each other. And so anytime I would get together with my friends at the bar or at my place or at their place or whatever, I'd ask them, I wouldn't ask them anything. I'd just start picking on them, right? I'd be really super mean and super rude to them, just like the people in the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I was taking on what I was feeding my mind with. And so I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you watch a certain show or a movie, or you hang out with a certain crowd, or whatever it is, you start to pick up on language, and you start to pick up on thoughts and behaviors and mentalities that you adopt for yourself and you start to use for yourself. And so it goes like this, they say the 5 people you hang around with most, you're the average of that person, right? You're the average of whatever those 5 people are. And so I think it really goes to show what you feed your mind, the environment. And that leads me to number 3. And this one's just communication, guys. This goes back to the people you surround yourself with, right? How you communicate with yourself, first of all, right? The words you say to yourself, how you speak about yourself. If I were to ask you, who are you, right? How you answer that question. If I were to ask you, what do you do in life, or what's your purpose, or why are you here, or what's the point in even living? Right? How you answer that question, that's how you communicate with yourself. Or, what's your relationship like with yourself? And also, what's your relationship with others? What kind of conversations do you engage in? Right? Are you like gossiping all the time? Right? Are you talking shit? Right? Are you talking about your friends behind their back? Are you doing this? Are you complaining about the government, or about this, or about that, or about school, or about whatever's out of your control? Right? Or are you talking about ideas? Are you talking about like plans? Are you talking about like philosophies? Are you talking about like how we could help each other, improve ourselves, improve the world? Like, what are you talking about? How are you communicating? That's also going to change your emotions. And so that's all I got for you guys today. I really just wanted to share those 3 things that I've learned from reading books and practicing in my own life and listening to podcasts and seeing in other people how this stuff works, and just taking note and just noticing. And I wanted to share that with you guys. So just a quick recap, guys. Think about the way you move your body, your physiology, the way you use your mind, your psychology, and finally, the way you communicate with yourself and with the world. And so that's all I got for you guys today. I'm off to the gym right now because I'm going to go get my physiology fix, get my body moving, get my exercise on, feel really good. I just got to thank you guys for coming on the show. Thank you, Shelby, for the question today. She's talking about feeling unmotivated, how to go from feeling unmotivated, how you don't want to feel, to taking control of your emotions and feeling how you do want to feel. So I hope today helped you, Shelby. I know it helped me. I felt really good about it. Thank all you guys, Shanova, Bone Clicks, Robin Hamilton, Carly Ty, Sinat. Yeah, man, thank you guys all for tuning in the show. I always appreciate it. If you guys want to support what we do at Implicit, go to patreon.com/implicit, and you can just follow us on social media and stuff. If you guys have any questions for Q&A Tuesday, leave them in the comment section below, because I want to answer your questions, right? I really want to tailor the show to what you guys want, right? This isn't about me getting up here and just expressing myself all the time. I really want to be in service. I really want to help you guys in some way or another. So let me know what you guys want to hear. And if you guys want to contact me, you guys know where to find me on social media at Bren Dubé, Endube. Perfect. All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a beautiful Tuesday. I will see you guys tomorrow for Wednesday.